Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Live from Park City, from my daughter's home, from my son-in-law's home, which happens to be the Park City Jewish Collective headquarters. You hear that? Park City Jewish Collective headquarters. Rabbi, I want to say tremendous yeshukayach to the MDY Chevra. A bunch of guys got together and got us this amazing, amazing tray of here. I even have a picture. Not only that, I'm getting there. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Here's the picture of the meat board. Let me zoom in a little bit to the meat. You can see the meat. It came cold and fresh. It's unbelievable. Here, even has all the names here of all the guys that gave it. Beautiful, like this. This is how it came in the mail. In a box, and with the ice. Oh, in a box. Okay. So Yishkoyach, thank you so much. What else do we have here today? First of all, I got to do the Good Morning Rabbi Yosef from the slopes. You guys are pros, so you're not going to be impressed. But there are other people that live through me vicariously. Is that something like that? So here we go. Do you have sound? I'm putting on sound, Mark. Good morning, Rabbi Isaiah. Unbelievable. Unreal. This is great stuff. Unreal. So Reuven Harrison renewed for $1,500 a month. Solomon Marciano, $500 a month. Shimon Braun increased to $180. Shkoyach Shimi Braun. I wanted to show a video from him. Maybe I have it in there. Moshe Schwartz, $101. Elliot Shalom, $52. Menachem Stein, $36. Jonathan Turek, $36. David Joseph, $36. Shmuel Greenblatt, $18. Sean Sachs, $18. Gabi Grubin, $18. Ian Kletter, $18. James E. Wolf, $10. And we have with us Yona Bookstein, who's also, that's where I recognize the name. He's here with us today as well, and he's on the MDYmonthly.com giving Yishur Koyach Golem Ha'od to all the hundreds of people that are on it, literally hundreds. So Yishur Koyach Golem Ha'od, it's a big chizuk. Rabbi Isai watched the shir together on Zoom with a pre-shir Melava Malka here. You guys could see this over here. This month's Shabbos, Parshas Boy at 11 p.m. I think, because the shir here I think is 9 o'clock. So is that okay? 11 o'clock in New York is 9 o'clock here. That works out. Perfect. They don't have to stay up till 12, 1, whatever they do over there usually. Beis Medrash, Monastrich, whatever, however you pronounce it. The Rav did not like the way I said it last time. Monastrich, 1301 East 27. Okay, Givaldik. That's the, I don't know if they do it weekly. Maybe yeah, maybe not. I don't remember anymore. A new Talmud. Good evening, Rebelli. I'm not the type to write in, but I felt compelled. I started the Daf with MDY at the start of Sanhedrin. What is that? 44 Daf in. And I'm in shock that I'm still here, 42 Daf in. I never would have thought it's possible. I've been trying to get on the Daf Yomi bandwagon for many years now, but to no avail. If you would have told me 2 months ago that I started the Daf, get up an hour earlier every day to watch the Shir live, and still be doing it 42 days in or Daf in, I wouldn't have believed you. I find it extremely difficult to stick to a daily routine, to stay disciplined with these sorts of commitments, especially getting up early part. I'm proud to say that I'm not just hanging in there, fighting to stick with it and not to lose interest. Quite the contrary. It's become the highlight of my day. I find myself looking forward with anticipation for tomorrow's daf. To borrow the shorish of your famous line, I came for the daf and I stayed for the yomi. I owe a great, you hear that? I came for the daf and I stayed for the yomi. I think I heard that line before. I owe a great deal of gratitude To you, for all you do, thank you. On a related but more technical topic, one thing that does bother me is the fact that I find myself constantly blocking, then unblocking apps like YouTube and Spotify to watch a share. Although I generally watch it live on Zoom in the morning, there are days where my wife needs an extra hand with the kids in the morning and I need to put off watching it until an hour or two after the live stream is ended. For some reason, the share is uploaded very quickly to Spotify, but it takes much longer on other kosher platforms. The Kitzer, this guy is one of the managers customer support for 24/6. It's the kosher Spotify. He wants to know how he could get the and he says like this. Because it's only on audio now. The shir is on 24/6, but it's only audio. In my opinion, doing the daf with MDY audio only is kind of like eating herring without a cracker or a kichel. The taste is there, but it just doesn't feel right. I think I would have to say it differently. It's like eating the cracker without the herring, not eating the herring without the cracker. It's garnished without, not garnished, but it's ikar chasim and aseva. It's like the main thing is the visuals and everything else. But okay, there are a lot of people, there's a lot of Hasidim that just listen to it, and I talk about these charts and they have no clue what's flying. I was speaking to my friend, Shamsi Cohn. Kids, it's a very long thing, but bottom line is, I apologize for the criminally long email. Great, Hashem should bench you with copious amounts of nachas for your children, gratitude, the koyach, and peace of mind to continue spreading Torah amongst Klal Yisrael. Amen. With much gratitude and appreciation, Moshe from Beitar. That's in Eretz Yisrael. Here's it's an email in Hebrew, but basically this guy is on a plane and he just started with Sanhedrin, and thanks for adding so much geschmack to learning. And you can't imagine how this whole Yomi thing, he came back from Shire, from Kistir, and he learned 30 daf on the plane because of the shir. He was inspired by this idea that keep on talking about people learning on the plane. He learned 30 daf. And HaKadosh Baruch should give you Bane Chayim Zoni Reviche. That's, the famous song about Shayla ben Moshe Bane Chayim Zoni Reviche, whatever. And he's smashed to get the Shem Shli. Okay, the kids at Tzviki Lokev. Shkoyach Tzviki. What else do we have? Also in Sechta. Let me just do it. This is larger. Masechta sponsor Refuah Shelaima for Yosef Chaim Shmuel ben Alte Nechama from his grateful family. The Masechta sponsor Atzlacha Baruch ובגשמיות. Larry Cohn in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim who started learning Daf Yomi at age 70 and gave it for 32 years until he was nifter. You still there? You hanging in there? You need a Gemara? I have an iPad. Hold on. When we say his name, we're all going to clap, right? For the unity of the Jewish people, Glenn Esterson, with love and gratitude from Wilmington, North. I love this one. Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you for enriching my life with Torah. And the Parnasa Chodesh. Zchut, Parnasa Chodesh, Parnasa Birevach and Baruch for Baruch, Tzvi, Nissim, Ben Shoshana, Leah. And with the Kavar Satoyev from Anonymous. Shkoyach. And Sprincy and Alan Grossly, the Yosef of our fathers, Shlomo ben Isaac Zchut and Baruch, and Binyamin Isaac ben Tzvi Hirsha, Koy Zchut and Baruch. Koil of the week. Dov Eisenberger, in honor of the Bergen Hatzalah MDYers, the Muncie firefighters had their turn. Parnasa Yoim, Dambi family, loving memory of Ramosha Chaim ben David Emanuel Zchut Bracha, Yortzai this Shabbos Gimel Shvat. We have a zchus to have two of the Dambi brothers in our shir. Big Tamid Chacham, they sit there. One is in the. No, they're both in the English one. They both speak perfect Hebrew, but they're both in the English shir. Parnasa Yoim, Refuah Shelaima, Chana Zelda Bas Miriam. And Parnasa Yoim Shmuli Gans in honor of my father-in-law, Daniel Benedict, for turning me on to MDY with her belly. I didn't see this before. Wow. Can I say? I get on the phone yesterday with Daniel Benedict because his son-in-law, Shmuli Gans, and his grandson, what's your first name? Ariel came for 3 shiurim, and they flew in. He tells me he flew in special to see the shir live and to do a little skiing, of course, but that's a side thing. But he really came for the shir, Yishkoyach Gadol. And he says, you got to speak to my father-in-law. So I speak to him. The guy tells me, I've never heard anything like this. He learned in Panovich and he learned in Tifrach. Those are 2 places I learned in. He does real estate, which I do. He flies a single-engine plane, which I used to do. And I owned a small plane and he owns a plane, I think, right? He owns a plane. He scuba dives. He skis and and safaris. Bekitzer, yeah, I've never heard of so many similarities. He says, but I don't give a share. Okay, but he's a great guy, and he turned his son-in-law to the daf, and now his grandson to the daf. Shkoyach Gadol. What? And to the yeshiva. Well, he might be the first guy in the new yeshiva. No, he's not watching now. He's in America. He's actually on a safari or something. I don't know what. Parnasa, Ben and Dan Kaufman, in memory of Sila Bas Yechiel Tzvi, from her two sons, enjoyed doing the daf with MDY. Shkoyach, the Nechama should have an aliyah. By Leon Welcher, for the speedy release of Aaron Ben Hila Esther Gittel, Ari Rosenfeld, a frum Jew, and a participant of MDY who's been incarcerated in prison for too long. Yeah. Baruch should take him out. Bikarov. Art of the month for Zchut for Eli and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. Art of the month in honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do. Boys, I was starting a brand new Mishnah. Hoya Rochaik Mebeis Haskila Arbamis. If you recall yesterday, as they're taking this guy that's Chayev Misa, they take him to the place where they throw him off the roof. The 10 amas away, they say, okay, do tshuva, say vidu. Now we're 4 amas away, which is approximately 8 feet away. Mafshitin oisay is begadav. They remove his clothing. So there's a very tznius way to show that. Let me show you. It's very gishmak. Oh yeah, turn this around. Here we go. Enjoy. Here we go. They peel his clothing off. So there's one issue that there's erva. We don't want to see an erva. So by a man, it's enough just to cover him from the front, because that's the only place where it's visible from the front. To make sure that the erva is covered completely, it's necessary to cover from the back as well. Don't worry about it. Only a man is niskal. You do skila, perform skila without clothing. The halacha is that doesn't even apply to a woman. She wears her clothing. Says the Gemara. Yona Bookstein for this scarf. Yishkoyach and Yishkoyach for the liquor. The Ilam drank his shtickle tonight, so I can say whatever I want. This is the name of his organization. He's a big tzaddik, goes around being retired nefashos neshama. It's a great name. You should have a lot of atzlacha, and a lot of people should send you money. Hayish mechatzen oisoi perek echad milfanov visha shnei prokim bein milfaneo bein milachareo. B'bnei shekula erva. They're Rabbi Yehuda. Front, back, it's all erva. V'cham ha'imrim hayish niskal arum bein hayish niskal saruma. Chacham argue, they say it's not necessary to cover a woman because she's already covered. She's wearing her clothing. Where do they get this from? Omar Krav v'ragmu oisoi. It should say v'ragmu. What's oisoi? Him. We know we're talking about this individual that we have to perform skila. What's oisoi? It's an extra word. So typically, if I ask you why does it say oisoi? Oisoi is zachar. So I'll say, it means only perform skila on a zachar, not in a keva. But that's not true, says the Gemara. We know for a fact that if a woman does the same avera, she's not immune to skila. She'll get skila as well. And it comes to exclude women. It says mefurish in the pasuk, a woman gets skila. So then why does the Torah say oisai? Oisai b'loi ksusai, ha'isa b'ksusa. Oisai, you remove his clothing, but not a woman. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, oisai b'loi ksusai, loishna ish v'loishna isha. No. This idea of removing that oisai, what does oisai mean? It should be him against the stone. There shouldn't be anything cushioning the blow from the stone. So it's oisai without any garment. So it makes no difference between a man and a woman. A woman also no clothing. Says the Gemara, a very interesting thing here. Remember the Rabbana chayshi lihirura. Perhaps the reason why Rabbanan say that a woman should be wearing her clothing is because we're concerned for illicit thoughts. People that are there might have a rurim. So I was puzzled by this until I saw Rashi. What do you mean the Rabbanan are learning this from a pasuk? They're not making this up. I saw is him, not her. So it's a pasuk. So nothing to do with Hirurim. It's not dependent on what Chacham think in regards to Hirurim. It's dependent on how they learn the pasuk. So Rashi sticks in a thing here that yes, you're right. Women don't have to take off their clothing, but shouldn't we make a halacha that they should take off their clothing? Why? It's better for them not to have clothing because they'll die quicker. The 5-second, 10-second difference makes a big difference, as we're going to see in the Gemara. By the way, I have 2 questions here. We'll ask one. If somebody's chayiv skila and he decides to make a run for it, he runs, he grabs onto the helicopter and scoots out of there. Now, one of the Dayanim has a gun. Is he allowed to shoot him as he's escaping? He's chayiv me, so could I kill him with a gun? Why not, Yonah? The Torah says skila. Skila. Everybody agrees with the Yonah? So we're going to see a big chiddush. No, you could kill him with a gun. Kill him with a gun. Just for that, it was worth coming. But I do have a question, a serious question here. I feel like there'll be different people think, hello, are you part of the shir? Are you going and doing something? What are you doing over there? Yeah, sure. Hey, come, sit with us. What are you doing? So,
it just says here that he's not relying on the pasuk really.
Yeah, okay, but we go with Rashi. It's an asmachta, yeah. So, what I wanted to ask is as follows. Personally, what would you say personally, not a Gemara or anything, what would you prefer? To be paraded around without clothing, but to die 20 seconds quicker? Or have your clothing, your dignity, and you'll have suffering for 20 seconds, but you'll have more dignity. Or you don't care. I don't care. Go to the mikveh, I don't care. What do you guys say? Anybody want to take what do you say? Doc? What? You want dignity? Dignity. What do you say?
I would say just no, not unclothed.
Unclothed. Gewalt. That's why I wanted to ask. I wanted to see here's 2 people sitting across from each other saying the opposite things. And it's interesting because he's younger. So you think maybe the opposite. You're older. Okay, what do you say? Same as him, dignity. Yonah?
Rather not be in the situation.
But yeah, that's not the question. You're in the situation. You know what? Somebody lied. 2 AD Sheker said
As fast as possible.
As fast as possible. So you don't care about dignity now. So the Gemara says like you, and I was thinking like them. Like I was more into the dignity. 20 seconds, you're gonna die anyway, so 20 seconds, but at least you die with dignity. That's what I thought. Anyway, Gemara doesn't agree with me. The Gemara agrees with you guys. Fine. So says the Gemara, maybe it seems like from here the Rabbanan care about Hirurim and Rabbi Yehuda doesn't care. But we heard the opposite. So just to what is this? Okay. Let me just show you because we have I forgot his name already. Shmuel, what's his name? The first guy from the MDY yeshiva? Ariel. So let me just show you real quickly. This a bunch of people didn't see this, even though we show it often because there's a lot of halachas here. This is the halachas of Saita. So basically, Saita is a husband is concerned that his wife is talking to somebody else, and he warns her not to seclude herself with this other man, and she doesn't listen. And there's 2 Eidim that see that they go into a place and they seclude themselves. So this is sped up a little bit, I hope. Here's the other guy, and she goes in there. 2 Eidim witness that. She comes back. Then they take her. They have to take her to the Beis Hamikdash, and they give her. The Cohn gives her water to drink. Talking about water. At a certain point here, they remove her clothing. They bring it to this thing, that thing. So at a certain point, the Cohn grabs her clothing right over here and rips it down, if he can. This is not important. This is the mincha, the whole thing. Okay, we're not going to go through the whole thing now. But the Gemara says like this. When he tears her beged, So it could be a nice tear. It could be no tear if it's very strong, nothing. Or it just falls apart. So the Gemara says like this. It's not. How can you know? So over here, again, Chachamim care about. They care about here, and Rabbi Yehuda does not care about here. But when it comes to the site, it's exactly the opposite. Rabbi Yehuda cares about here, and Rabbanan don't care. What happens? He grabs onto her shirt. Im nikru, if it tears, vim nifru, if it rips apart into shreds, we don't care. Until he reveals her heart. Sarah, he removes whatever covering she has, plus he undoes the braids that she has. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, im haya libana, if her heart is attractive, then he doesn't do this. Why? Because Rabbi Yehuda is concerned of hearer. By us, he's not concerned of hearer. It's a contradiction. And if she has attractive hair, then he doesn't undo it. So it's Rabbanon here say we're not concerned. The Rabbi Yehuda says we are concerned. So it's a contradiction, it seems like. So now we're coming to answer Rabbi Yehuda that when it comes to a Saita, we're talking about a woman who could go about 50-50. If she was Matama herself, she was Mizana with that guy, she will die, she'll blow up, she's not coming back home. But there's a possibility that she wasn't Mizana. Possibility she's coming back home. Now these young Bacharim were there in the Beis HaMikdash, the Kohanim, and they saw her revealed. So now they might go and seduce her. And she's Eishasish. That's the problem. He's going Rabbi Riguna. Now it's interesting. Even though she came home Zakai, she didn't do anything wrong, but she still deserves this embarrassment. Why does the Kohen rip it? Because she deserves the embarrassment. Even though she was not innocent, but even though she's innocent, she's not innocent because she did go and seclude herself with that man, and she shouldn't have done that. So for that alone, says Rashi, she deserves a little bit bizayon. So, but over here, in our case, so let's say they kill her without clothing. What's the big deal? Says Yehuda, I'm not concerned about her. The woman's dead. They're not going to go after her. She's dead. Wait a minute. But if the people there, the spectators, they see her without clothing, now they'll have a taiva in their head and they'll go after another woman. Says Gemara something very interesting. The Yetzirah is to the person that they saw without clothing. That's where they'll attack. That's what they'll go after. You just answered Rabbi Yehuda. You forgot to answer the question that we have around button, the same exact question, but in reverse. Right? In one place, it seems like Rabbanon are not, by us, they're not concerned of hearer, and by Saita, they are concerned. So which one is it? The Rabbi Yehuda, the Rabbi Lekashya, the Shanina, we just explained there's a big difference between a woman who might go home and they saw her unclothed, where a woman who's not going home, she's dying. No matter what, she's going to die. The Rabbanon, Nabi Lekashya, Omar Kra, by the side that says, that we have an idea, we want other women to be faithful to their husbands, and we warn them. How? By making an example out of this woman. When they see that we embarrass her and we rip her shirt like that, they might think twice before they go ahead and they have relations with another man. But by skila, it's not necessary to take off her clothing. Why? All other women and men, and whoever sees that she was over in Aveira, look, she's dying, this woman. It doesn't get any worse than death. So, okay, you add a little bit more, the clothing. No, we don't need to come on to that. We have enough here. Okay, so kill her and take off the clothing. We have a chiyuv to love our fellow like we love ourselves. So give that person a death that doesn't include embarrassment. This might be the easiest v'afta l'reach kamoicha in the world. What?
Why is this v'afta l'reach kamoicha instead of going faster?
So that the Gemara is going to talk about that. I told you that it's faster, and That's one thing. But right now, at this point, that you could do death with embarrassment, without embarrassment. Do it without embarrassment. So this idea that so you want to tell me that it's machlokes tanoim whether or not we care about v'avdorach kamoicha? That Rabbi Yehuda says that you take off her clothing, he doesn't care about v'avdorach kamoicha. Says Gemara Loi, the kuli almi islehu the Rav Nachman. One of the things I saw today in my video that I did for the Hebrew shir, because I did a video in English on the slopes. So yesterday, Aaron Cutler did the video, but without the microphone. Like we switched phones by mistake. So the sound came out great, but you heard the skiers flying by. You heard the carving. Today, and he's not either. Zero. Like you see them fly by, but you don't hear them at all because the microphone picks up. So I'm hoping, I'm just saying because I hear the vacuum cleaner upstairs. I'm hoping that maybe Kivi, are you able to tell her like to slow down on the vacuum? Or text mommy. So. Okay, brother Yafa. So yeah, no. Lord, the Kulayami is the Rav Nachman. Everybody agrees with Rav Nachman that we should always pick the quickest death possible, or the nicest death, I should say. The Kulayami is the Rav Nachman. Oh, what does a person? This is what you were asking. What does a person prefer more? A little bezyonis, but die quicker. And the other one says no. It's better to in other words, bekitzer, the shaila is bezyonis or pain. Which one is more? Reminds me of the famous Maisa with the Torah Sheshivas. They're sitting on the Mizrach, on the dais. Everybody's looking at them, thousands of people. So the one takes a little water, he's drinking. The other guy just digs in. He starts eating and eating. So the other guy's like, he looks at him. He's like, "You're not like embarrassed. You're fresh like a pig." So the guy says, "Listen, I gave into my big taiva of food. I gave in, and you gave into your big taiva of covered. We're both the same. We both gave into taiva. What's the difference?" Okay, so it's a shayla. There's always like it's a give and take. A little bizyonis, no pain, or not less pain. A lot of pain, no bizyonis. You got to pick. Says the Mishnah, Beis Askila Hoy Gavoya Shtei Kaimes. The Skila house was the height of two humans. So a human being is approximately 3 amas. Let's call it 6 feet. So 2 times that, 12 feet. Echol min ha'edim doicha foyal masnav. There's a machlokes achronim what masnav is. Some achronim learn that it means on his side. I like the pshat that it's on his back, personally, and I think it's more than like the Kesef Mishnah, so it's like more like Rishonim maybe. So basically, I didn't know this really. Maybe I did because I learned this Masechta once before. But you take this guy and you put him on the edge of the roof, but his face is not facing the sidewalk. His back is facing the sidewalk. His face is facing you. So he has much less of a chance to catch himself. Basically, his head is going to hit the concrete and then boom, it's over. That's what it says here. Or you can learn, the other pshat is that it's on his side. Okay, let's go with the pshat that he falls on his back. Echad. This is like one of the most famous jokes in Israel. I hope I don't botch it. Like it's the pre-1A, first grade joke. But why not? What's the difference when a person falls from the first floor, from the 10th floor? A person falls from the first floor, it goes like this. Boom! Ah! But when you fall from the 10th floor, it's ah! Boom! It's anyway, I don't know what this is. 12 feet. No. I don't know which one. It's in between. Let's say he somehow flips in midair and he lands on his stomach. So you flip him over on his back, or like the other pshat on the side. And if he dies from the fall, you don't have to continue with what the pasuk says. stone him. You don't have to stone him. You don't have to rigmuoy soy baven. You don't have to do that. You yaitza. Vimlav. I could see the brisket. No, I wasn't yaitza. Let me take this. I have to do. Does that stone have a shear? Whatever. We're going to get into it in a second. Vimlav. Hasheni noitel se'evet v'nois na liboy. It seems like he places it nicely. No. You take a stone and you throw it on his heart. And we're going to see this stone weighs a lot. Let's call it 150 pounds. Boom, right on his chest, it's over. Imeizba yotza. If that did the job, great. Vimlav. If he didn't die, rigimas b'chol Yisrael. Everybody throws stones. And the Gemara is going to tell us that never happened. He always died on the first shot. Shenemar yado edim tia boy b'rishoyna la'misoi. First the edim do it. The yad kol ba'achroin. It's important to remember this pasuk. We're going to mention it later on. Yad, the hand of the witnesses. Tia boy b'rishoyna. They're there first. What if a Eid doesn't have a hand? Doesn't have a hand. It says in the pasuk, Yad ha'edim, the hand of the Eidim. They should push him. They should throw the stones. What if a person doesn't have a hand? Then what? What do you say? So you could say, well, the pasuk is makbid. Okay, so we'll see. Tara of a koim shaloi harikan shalosh. So we have. Where is that? Here we go. Yeah, you got it. You have his height plus 2 more floors, or whatever. So his head is basically 3 stories above the ground. Harikan shalish. So that's the Gemara. Why do you need such a great height? Reminu ma'barshu kedei lahames. We learned about Kama that a pit, you dig at a pit, and an animal falls into it. He dies. It's enough to kill an animal. How much is that? Asar tfachim, this tall. What do you need to go? 18 feet or whatever it is. Avkol kedei lahames. The Gemara tells us 10 tfachim is enough. Asar tfachim. So the Or Sameach asked a question that I was very bothered. You're probably also very bothered by it. I mean, 10 tfachim. My grandchild could jump off 10 tfachim and survive. So what's the Gemara so bothered? I wanna do a misa that the guy's gonna die. So I make sure 10 feet, 18 feet. Yeah, okay, an animal could die. So the Or Sameach says something very important, and I think you could see it in Taisus also. The Or Sameach says there's a difference. If a person's walking down the street, you have some of these videos. I think I showed it once. A woman minded, she's texting in Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, how they open up the sidewalk? They have that piece of metal on the side. You go into the basement on 13th Avenue. It's all, She's walking and they forgot to put up the metal. She's walking along, poof, falls in. A person can die from that. Even if you fall 3-4 feet, if you don't realize it's happening and you don't catch yourself, it could cause death. So it says the Or Sameach, the Gemara's question was, since you give that person wine and levaina together, kedeshet to tarv daita, his brain, it's gonna mess him up somehow. Like whatever it does to the person. So it's as if he's not paying attention. So he's not gonna catch himself. He won't be able to. So even at a small amount, 10 tefachim, whatever that is, we have a doctor in the house over here. So he says, no, you're not really dying from that. You don't see it. You can snap your neck on it. Backwards. Unlikely from 10 tefachim to snap your neck and die. Okay? So says the Gemara, I hear. But then you go with the stone. You can get him with the stone. Mordechai ben Yocheved Hema needs Rachmei Shamayim. I'm checking out his grandson. He talking about that mamish. I hate to say, but that grandson got hit by a piece of marble in the head. He had a marble table, and the marble hit him. Okay, Zog the Gemara. Does anybody know what this is? I have no idea what this is. Yoshi stuck this in after this year, and I didn't have a chance. What is this? No, looks like Sayif. There's a sword over there. I have no idea. And he's going to tell me something. Oh, I can't believe I didn't have. Okay. Omar Rav Nachman, Omar Rabbi Baravu, Omar Krova, have to l'recha kamoicha. Bror loy misa yafa. We have to make sure this guy dies, and he dies quickly. 10 tefachim is not enough. As the Gemara Yachi l'gebiyat fei. So why are you doing 18 feet? Do 50 feet. Throw him off the 10th floor. Why the 3rd floor? Mishum de minavel. No, he's not even wearing clothing. Who knows what's going to happen to his body? What's going to explode? What's going to break? And it's going to be a evil to the body. You don't want to disgrace the body like that. We learned in the Mishnah, one of the Edom actually pushes him off. Here, whoever didn't see this, we could do, if I could get there. Where was it? No? I guess not today. Okay. So, how do you know that one of the Edom pushes him? It's a lashon of push. And how do you know that you stone the person? That you stone him. How do you know that you do both of them? Why does it say a double lashon? It should say sakal yare. Why does it say sakal yisakal yare? To teach us that you do both. How do you know that it's enough that he dies by the pushing? You don't have to stone him after he's dead. It's extra lashon. So this pasuk was said by Har Sinai. Moshe Rabbeinu told Klal Yisrael, if you go close to the mountain, this is what's going to happen to you. How do you know this for generations to come? Turn to the daf. Shvat. You ready? In honor, Kinnovations LLC, in honor of Elchanan Pressman and Fischel. And this is a zchus for me. This is the first time in many years. Akiva was one of the first people to be in our share, from the 10 first guys. I think we have pictures of him there. I don't even know how old he was. No, this was 7 years ago, approximately 7 years ago. So how old were you 7 years ago? 15, 16. So let me say this as a zchus for Akiva Simcha ben Feigo. Yay, shkoyach. And a shidduch for Rivka Yehudas Bas Yafachaya, and thank you to Eli Stefansky. By Adar Global, experts in international financial services, anonymous, the Zchut, Refuah, Satino, Yechiel Moshe Ben Nechama, Sheindol. Says the Gemara, Daf Mem Amud Beis, Vimlav, Eid Hasheni Noitel 7. One aid grabs a stone, and if he doesn't die from the fall, then that second aid picks up a stone and kills him. But there was a stone right there, ready to go, but two men had to pick it up. It was very heavy. He, now all of a sudden singular, puts it on his heart. If he dies, great. It seems first it says it's two people, and it says one person takes it. No, the way it works is two people lift up the stone, and one person throws the stone, like maneuvers it. So two people lift it up, and one guy like pushes it on him. I'm going to tell you a secret here that I have never said, and I just figured it out today. This is a major secret. You're hearing this here first. Have you ever been to a wedding where the two mothers of the chassan and the kala, they take a plate and they try to break it on the chair and it doesn't break? All the time. But it's a plate. If by mistake it slips out of your hand, it breaks. But two people go like this. I'll tell you the secret. It's pashut. It's because one woman is going upwards and the other one is going downwards. One is negating the power from the other. Take a look at it, do it in slow motion. You'll see, it's like uncoordinated. That's what the Gemara is saying over here. When two people are going to throw the stone on the guy, it's not going to come out good. This guy's going to go this way. One guy does the throw. Two guys lift, but now that it's up in the air, one guy is the one that does the motion, and that's the secret to breaking the plates at the chasanos. I was a caterer. What is going on here? Just break the plate. What's the problem? And again. It's like they're like scared to they're like, am I breaking their hand? So the one pulls back. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. It says Gemara, that it should come with a good force. Next Gemara, Vimlav Rigi Masai Vatanya. It says, if he doesn't die from that one stone, so then the rest of the community, the spectators, they throw stones. As the Gemara says in the Brisa, nobody ever needed to throw another stone. So it says, did I say that it happened? The mitzvah coming, if in the future it's necessary, then you should know everybody can throw. Omar Mar Evan Haisa. There was a stone there ready to go. Ask the Gemara, Vatanya, Achas Evan Shinis Gabab, Achas Each Shinit Lalav, Achas Saib Shinaragabai. Any murder weapon, well, it's not the weapon, it's the tool that they use to kill this person in the bezin, like the stone, like the sword. Ve'echad Sudur Shenechmak Boy. Here. I don't want to show this on this, but we got a Sudur going here. It's perfect. This is they choked the guy with this. So if they put the guy to death with this. What's halacha? Kula, it's neshama. It's perfect. Kula nigbar mimai. You bury it with. Interesting halachas. You know that today also, if something kills somebody, like a weapon, you have to put it away. You have to bury it. So, for instance, if you find a rope that the Nazis Yimach Shemam hung Jews with, you have to bury it. So what about a gun? Do you bury a gun? You find the Leilenu in Eretz Yisrael, happens unfortunately all the time. An Arab comes, shoots a Jew. Now what? You find the gun. Does the gun have to be buried? So they say no. But the bullets have to be buried. What about a guy takes a car and rams the Jews with it and he kills a Jew? Happened. You have to bury the car. So they say no. Why? Because a car is not a weapon. Although I don't know if that's so accurate. It has been a pretty bad weapon. Kills more. It's like the number one cause of death or number two cause of death. You're a doctor, you should know. Well, heart disease, yeah. It can't be the number one cause. That's exaggerated because 500 people died in Eretz Yisrael from car accidents this year. 500. It's a lot. So it's not really a weapon. It's not designed to be a weapon. Okay, I get it. So you don't have to do that. But different things. If somebody kills someone with a knife, then the knife has to be buried. There's a famous Maisa. I don't know exactly who's it. They say about Reichman, they say about this one, that one, each. But the story goes as follows. The lesson is true. That a very wealthy person calls his family, he's dying. He says, listen, I have two things to tell you. Number one, I'm writing a will, I'm writing a tzava, do not open it until after I'm buried. Okay. Number two, I demand that I want to be buried with my socks, just socks. Everybody knows the story, but it's kedai to say it. So, socks. They go to the Chavidish says, no way, we're not burying with socks. So they go to the local Rav, the Rav says, I can't come up with that. So they go to another Rav, no, nobody can come with that. So they don't bury him with socks. So then after the Levai, it's okay, now let's open up the tzava. So they open up the tzava and it says the first line, it says, you see, even with the socks, they wouldn't let me be buried. You can't bring anything with you, nothing, zero. The only thing you can bring with you is the sword or whatever. And that also the Gemara says doesn't work. You can't bring anything with you. The only thing you bring with you, what can you bring with you? Torah, Tefillah, Ma'asim Tovim, the nefashos that you make, the tshuva that you create in this world, all these things, Ma'asim Tovim, that you can bring. Says the Gemara. Or like that Chinese guy I showed just recently, maybe a couple months ago, that he was buried, demanded to be buried with his car. He loved his car so much, they put it in the grave. Okay, you have him shugana here and there. Not the Chaver Kedisha of China allowed. Says the Gemara, so what's the Gemara's question? So this stone that they killed the guy with should be buried. What are you telling me? There's a stone there, like a designated stone. It's not designated every time the stone. The Gemara says, the metakni, did I skip anything? Answers the Gemara, the metakni ma'aseh chalifai. It doesn't say that it's there all the time as a designated stone. No, there's a stone there ready to go every single time. They bury one, then they bring another one, and it's ready to go again. How could you say that it's buried with him? You don't bury anything with the person in the caver, not even the socks. You could bury him within, you bury this weapon or whatever you want to call it, the tool, within 4 amas of the grave. Amar Shmuel. Amazing halacha. Nikta yad ha'edim, if the aid's hand is chopped off, Potter, the guy doesn't get the death penalty. My timer. It says in the pasuk that the hand of the witness pushes him or throws a stone at him, v'leka. So now we have a sugya. Listen to this. It's a new musig in Shas. It's called Be'inon Kra Kidchsiv. Do we always force the exact wording of the Torah to take place? Are you going to be like, what's the word? I don't want to use that word. There must be a better word. Okay, are you going to be exact to every word? Literal is a better word. Okay, you know the word I didn't want to say, right? Do you have to be literal? It says that the hand. Okay, not the hand. So he blows on him and he pushes him off with his foot. No, it doesn't Torah yet. So if a guy doesn't have a hand, no. A guy who doesn't have hands, that's how he's born, or he was chopped off beforehand. What, he can't be a Eid? Gemara says, Shani also, no, he could. But the difference is, Yado Edim means whatever you witnessed it with, that's what you come. So if a guy is born without hands, he has a little stub or whatever, that's his hand for the time being. But this Eid had a full hand and now it's chopped off, he's no good anymore. Because Shmuel says, I read the pasuk literally. So I just thought to myself, very interesting, with that story that we had with Shimon ben Shattach, where they killed Shimon ben Shattach's son with a lie. He didn't deserve to die, but they want to take revenge, so they killed him. So I have a great way out of it. You know what you do? You chop the guy's hand off. You chop the Eid's hand off. You're a false witness. You want to kill me. I have no problem chopping your hand off. Now, if I kill you, I might go to prison for the rest of my life. So that's a problem. But I have a great idea. Chop the hand. What's the worst? They'll put me in prison for 3 years. It's better than dying. No? How many years of prison could a person get for chopping your hand off? It can't be too bad. Murderers go to prison for 5-10 years. So chopping your hand off, no. I'm just saying, it's a great idea, according to Shmuel. You heard it here first. And you're allowed, I would think if you ask the Rav, say, sure, chop the guy's hand off. He's a liar. He tried to put you to death for no reason. He deserves his hand chopped off. Zog the Gemara. Meisvei, kol mokim sheyidu shnayim v'yoimru. Mi'idim anu b'shpleni. So what happened was, there was a murder case, let's say, in New York, and the guy, they said, okay, we got to kill him, and he ran away to Park City. So now they find him here in Park City, and two witnesses come and say, we witnessed that he was sentenced to death. And Reuben and Shimon from Brooklyn, they're the Eidim. And you kill him here in Park City, Utah. But the question is, it says Yada Eidim. The witnesses that saw the death, they're the ones that kill him, not you guys here in Utah. Says Gemara, Tirgim Shmuel behein hinedov. No, the two Eidim in Utah are the same Eidim that witnessed it over there. It's very difficult in the Lashon because it says, we witnessed Ploini upleni Eidov. It doesn't say Ploini upleni, we are the Ploini. It says those two guys are the Eidim. It should have said we are the Eidim. Okay. Shmuel says no. In fact, it must be, according to me, that you have to translate the pasuk literally. So it's the two Eidim that witnessed everything. They were in New York. They're here in Utah today, and they're the ones that are going to perform the Misa. As a Gemara, mi be'inon kroked chsiv. So this idea, be'inon kroked chsiv. I don't know if I'll remember, but you'll remember it for me. Be'inon kroked chsiv. Are we literal with the pasuk? So here's a few examples. You kill the murderer. What does it say? You kill a murderer with a sword. What if you don't have a sword? He ran away, he's running. You could kill him with a gun. It's a double lashon. Kill the murderer, even with a gun, as he's running away. Or like the Gemara over there says, he's on a boat. You could sink the boat. You don't have to do skila. Says Gemara, don't be reading a raya from a killer. Over there it says Mefurish, you can kill him any way you want. It's not literal. But nevertheless, you see that the Torah is not so literal. So if it's not literal, then learn for the rest of the Torah that you don't have to be literal. Says Gemara, we have a Yisod in Shas that when it's a Yisod in the Torah, when the Torah says a halacha in one place, then you can learn it to every place. But if the Torah repeats itself twice, then you can't learn it to another place because the Torah is saying, listen, only in these two places. Had I want you to learn it to the rest of the Torah, I would have said it once. Why am I saying it twice? To tell you only in these two places. So when I see that the Torah is not literal in two places, then it's only in these two places that it's not being literal. But the rest of the Torah, I'm very literal. That's what the Gemara is going to say here. Where else? Goyal Adam. Goyal Adam is when somebody kills someone, then you have it today by the Arabs, by the Muslims, it works like that. You kill, so the relative comes and kills you back. It's a whole war. I have it in Mexico. I had a guy that works for me. He had to run away from Mexico because he killed somebody, and the family is going to kill him. There's no, when you don't have, authorities, then it's the Wild West. So the halacha is that the Goyal Adam could come and kill. What if the guy doesn't have a Goyal Adam? So check this out. This is where we pause for a couple seconds and we do some humor. Shmak. Here we go. You ready, Akiva?
The court has ruled that you did not intentionally kill the old man you tried to rob, so you must go to an ear miklat. If you choose not to go, the relatives of the deceased are allowed to kill you. Ha ha ha! I'm terrified, really. He was a 90-year-old man with no children. He does not have a blood redeemer. If I don't go to a city of refuge, there's no one here to kill me. Ha ha ha! The Torah has already thought of that. In such a case, the court appoints a Goel Hadam. Please, let him in. That was a great idea to use that inflatable Goel Hadam. What? Oy vey. What a chap. That's a good one. Shkoyach.
Excellent. In the yeshiva, the guys are going to make their own stuff. They're going to come up with their own humor. You'll help Klal Yisrael. Okay. Mishum dahaber ritzach v'goyal adam shneksu b'abam ke'achad. Shneksu b'abam ke'achad. You don't have to be literal. The Torah says that the relative kills. It doesn't have to be relative. The Bezdin can appoint anybody to go kill the guy. What are the two things? The relative kills. Mitzvah b'goyal adam. The mitzvah is with the relative. He doesn't have any relatives. Bezdin what's the word? Appoints a goyal adam. Okay. So we have two places that it's not literal. What? You're saying that you don't have to be literal in the pasuk, but it's not. About the son, the Ben Soyer, right? Soyer is a kid that's going in the wrong path. He's stealing meat, wine, this whole thing. We see that he's going to turn out no good. So his parents bring him to Bezdin. I don't think it ever happened, but because there's a very, very strict criteria, the parents have to be the same height, they have to have the same voice, but that's not what the Gemara is talking about. It says over here like this. If one of the parents doesn't have a hand, or ilam is mute, or chiger, or can't walk, or suma, blind, or cherish, deaf, the boy is not killed. You have to grab him. They don't have hands. One of them doesn't have a hand. And they take him out to the Bezdin. They can't be somebody that doesn't have feet or limb. And they say, meaning it can't be people that can't speak. Here, this son, I don't know where he is, I can't see, no good. He doesn't hear our voice. Not deaf. My time, because we're being literal in the pasuk. We're taking every word literally. The entire pasuk is extra, and we learn from each word a limud. Tashma. What about Ir Neidach is a city that most of the city does have a zara, and it says in the pasuk it has a street. What if it doesn't have a street? Ein nasas Ir Neidach. We take it literally. It has to have a street. You build a street. In other words, both agree that it has to have a street. We're taking this pasuk literally. You needed a street that was there beforehand. It's like, okay to build a street now. The kuli alma bidin kro. You see that everybody holds that you have to take the pasuk literally. Says the Gemara Tanoi, in fact, it's Machlokes Tanaim. This not. By the Mitzvah, it says, "Ainly bayin yod." Oh, I was going to take some ketchup and show you. Okay, forget the ketchup. Now, no ketchup on the day, right? By the Mitzvah, in the process of the Mitzvah, so we shacht an animal, asham, and we dip his finger, his thumb, in blood, in the right ear in blood, and his right big toe in blood. What if he doesn't have a right thumb? What do you do? Do you have to be literal or not? So it's the same question again. Ainly bayin yad, bayin regel, oiziman. It doesn't have one of these things. Ainly tahari lam is going to the Tanakama. There's nothing to do. He's going to remain a mitzvah for the rest of his life. You take whatever, there was a thumb right over here, so you put the blood right over here where the thumb used to be. Put it on the left thumb. So we have here machlokes. Are we going to be literal and say, listen, the guy is never going to be tar, or no? You don't have to be so literal. You can put it on the place where it used to be. You can put it on the left. You don't have to be. It says in the Torah, Yamin. You can do it on small also. You don't have to be so literal. So we have a machlokes here. We're just going to do the Mishnah today, and with that we're going to finish. Kol and Skalim Nitlan. The Tanakama holds, Rabbi Eliezer holds that anybody that is stoned to death, you hang the body afterwards. Not true. Just a person who curses the Rebbeinu Shalom va'oived avodah zara, and somebody that worships idols. The spectators get to see his face, a man, but a woman, you flip her around so that she's facing the tree, and the spectators don't get to see who it is. You don't even hang a woman, say Chachamim. The crazy story that we had the other day. That Shimon Ariel, that's the name. How many witches did Shimon ben Shetach kill? 80. Perfect. 80. Got it. You got it. Okay. 80. So says the Gemara of Ali Shimon ben Shetach told Noshim Ashkelon. He did hang them. He hung these witches. He killed 80. Everything was interesting over there. Shimon Shetach was in a big rush. He had to kill them all before they start doing sorcery to get out of it, and their husbands would come and the whole thing. He killed them all, even though he shouldn't have killed them all in one day. And he hung them. You can't bring any proof from what happened with Shimon Shetach, but a regular woman say, Chachamim, we don't hang. Rabbi Sai, thank you for coming. Have a wonderful day.